For one thing, I just thought it was kind of weird. Brock obviously had a pretty solid performance overall, and he wasn't helped out very much by the players around him, whether that be the skill guys dropping passes or the offensive line, allowing a ton of pressures. So, like when he was asked about Brock's performance, it was kind of weird how he didn't kind of heap the praise that we've seen him put on DJ throughout when DJ was struggling um, in the aftermath of some of those losses. So that was a little bit weird to me. And then he was asked about Amari and Landon, and said that they both need to continue improving, essentially. And I mean, complimented them as well, but it was just kind of weird, because we have seen that defense of DJ and of Kyle Morlock, and he had a chance to kind of just offer these guys a lot of praise, and it was kind of a mixed answer to those questions. So, it's a little bit different than what we've seen in some of these other press conferences where he hasn't been as or where he's been more guided, I guess. And this one, I felt like he was definitely open and to the point.
I think to me, whenever he's doing this, it's got to be that he feels almost disappointed in himself and a little embarrassed, maybe, that some of these younger guys are making bigger plays and finding better strides than what they had all cemented everything on, and putting some of these veterans out there like Kyle Morlock, someone I think that Kyle Morlock and DJ are in that same boat to me, where you just kept on putting them out there, kept on putting out there, and probably saw some good things in practice, but then on Saturdays, they're not good Saturday players, and Florida State's got to find good Saturday players. But I think he's kind of a little, embarrassed of himself, and kind of the ego part comes in as a coach, and you want to have those guys do well when you get to game days, but they're just not doing it. And, that's what I kind of get the demeanor after listening to the interview, D-Lou.
Yeah, and I mean, at the same time, the other players are listening to these interviews as well, and Mike made sure, when he was talking about Brock, getting towards the end of that answer, he also made sure to bring up Luke and to mention how Luke has been preparing and how happy he is with that. So, I mean, you kind of have a little give and take with some of these answers, if you will. But again, today at practice, Amari Williams had a great day out there, and Mike offered him a lot of praise, and Elijah Moore. So Florida State, they've got to start making these transitions, to these younger players, and we started to see that against Clemson. Obviously, Brock making that start, but Landon Thomas and Amari Williams both outsnapped Kyle Morlock, and then you had Andre Otto making that start in there at guard. Jalen Early didn't start, but he got in the rotation some. Obviously, the young guys are running back. So we're starting to kind of see that transition a little bit on offense. And, just like we mentioned on the podcast last week, you've seen those changes throughout the season on defense where some of these younger guys are getting more and more involved. Obviously, KJ Kirkland making those starts. So you're finally starting to see that turnover. And I'm wondering if this bye week will be enough to continue pushing it in that direction for FSU.